Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick, and I wanted to do it's not really an unboxing, but this is about the Morpheus strap. Morpheus strap is another option that you can have to detect your HRV, heart rate variability, and also give you an idea about recovery time. Some people will use this even during exercise to determine what your heart rate is doing and how far you should push to go higher or lower. So there's a couple different zones, and I'll talk about it in a little bit, but still little zones of exercise. If you know where to stay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can optimize your training. The end point is to be developing muscle, having cardiovascular fitness, and avoiding injury or overuse. And I own a practice where I do internet medicine, virtual visits to help people optimize their disease process or their immunity so that they can fight disease better, or just help them think about a different approach to staying healthy or getting better than before. You can't just push 110% every single day. It'd be nice, but some people are limited because of funds. Some people are limited because taking care of kids or taking care of their parents. Some people are limited because they don't know what to do or they're injured. So it really should be planned properly. And the way I do it, I took my HRV this morning, and because of the high HRV and the high amount of recovery, today would be the time that I push. I usually do something cardiovascular wise, and I hate running. I'll put my last measurements for the last month, and you can see it goes up and down and up and down, but it usually peaks. And when it peaks, my HRV and my recovery, when it peaks, that's when I know to deploy something aggressive, like a zone 5 day. I'll do some running, 3.1 miles, and it comes out to about twice a month. And I like to keep that as my little goals during the months. And then I ultimately have a big goal of going to a national park and attacking a nasty hike, which I just did. I did with about 8 people. Took them to Rainier. Rainier is in Seattle, and it's one of the most beautiful mountains in the world. And we were able to have a good time. And I had different levels of training in my group. 3 of the guys that came with me had done 14,000 feet with me a couple times. 3 of the people that came with me have not really hiked before, or at least one of them. I have to be able to watch over the whole group, but also empower everybody to do their best. And anyway, it was great. Good outcome, no injuries, and we're already looking towards seeing the next hike, probably Rainier, the other side of the mountain, next year. I only invite patients that are in my practice. Now think about being my practice if you want to optimize your health too. Regardless, back to the Morpheus strap. This takes a snapshot in time. It will measure what your HRV is and what your recovery rate is. Here are the 2 nodes that touch your skin, and when it touches skin, it detects electrical impulse. The heart, where the strap goes, the heart will send out electrical impulses based on its contraction, and that's the most accurate way to find and watch your heart rate, and then also measure the beat-to-beat variability that you will get with HRV. The other things, which are the Aura ring, this uses plethysmography, so it uses light diodes. This is the Whoop. It's a strap that also uses light. This uses light on the finger, light on the wrist, and it sends light into the skin, and then the amount of light that's reflected back will determine if your pulse rate is going at the rate it's supposed to be, and it'll try to pick up the beat-to-beat variability with the reflection of the light. Now, some would say that's pretty accurate, but this is more accurate. This is like an EKG that you get in the emergency room. I like this, and plus, this costs money, and then you have to pay a monthly. This costs not so much to get, but expensive monthly. This is a one-time fee, and the app is free. You can measure it, and this is like 2 years old. It wasn't working anymore, so I reached out to tech, and they immediately told me what to do. And the algorithm that the person that invented this came up with, I think, is useful. It also, if you use these things, it'll grab some information from the light plethysmography and include it to figure out what your optimized health would be. So I just use it for determining what the snapshot is in time in the morning of my HRV and my recovery, And like I said, when it's peaked, and it kind of corresponds to every 7 to 10 days, then I'll go for a zone 5 of some sort, whether it's HIIT training, CrossFit, or a run or a cycle or a row. Today I'm going to go do 5K, and we'll see. Hopefully my performance is good. The other thing that's kind of good, if you like watching data, is again, the price is like $100. I think there's a discount of some sort, so I'll put it in the comment section down below if you're interested. And it's a one-time fee. You don't have to pay the ongoing things or subscriptions with because of the readings and the electrodes that come with this thing. I think it's more accurate than these things. And you don't need these two things. You can just use this as a solo measuring device. You can do old school. Old school is just being healthy with your eating choices, being healthy with your sleeping hours, being healthy with productivity during the day, being healthy with exercise every day. But again, sometimes we can play around with those little sections of your lifestyle, and depending on what's going on with your life that year, that month, that day, that week, you can vacillate and change things up, which is exciting. I like skin to skin more so, and then right on top of the heart versus getting blood flow here, getting blood flow here. These things are great for measuring sleep and readiness. Not all of these things correlate. So my HRV here won't exactly be the same HRV with these two things, or my Garmin, or my Apple Watch. Bottom line is you just measure HRV, you implement the change, and you see if your HRV improves. So don't think that you're doing anything bad if you have an HRV of 27. The idea is to take a measure, improve the measure, and see what you have to do to deploy change in your life.
So the talk test is a cheap way to figure out if you're in zone 1 or 2. And if you're not sure about the zones of exercise, it's based on heart rate from 1 to 5. 5 is pretty aggressive. If you get to that point, you won't be able to talk, and your heart rate will be 220 minus your age, roughly. But I just finished my first mile, and what do we got? Whoa, shit, 153. With my recovery being peaked, keeping up this pace, 10-minute miles. Okay, second mile, and pace is now 11 minutes per mile. I can feel my energy drop off. However, heart rate is still super high. My zone 5 accomplishment for the week, which usually turns out to be with running or some cardio to balance out the resistance that I do. Honestly, I don't care what age, you should be able to hit resistance and then also do any kind of cardiovascular fitness on the drop of a dime. All right, just finished 5K. Pace is 11:31. Has the second mile finished. Actually, my legs were saying keep on going. My brain was saying, ooh, this sucks. This is a Sunday. It's a recovery day. Can take it easy. I'm just going to the hospital. Gives you an idea about what to do with your tracking devices. If you have any questions, put them in the comments section down below about how you train. And don't forget to subscribe. Stay healthy. That's my recovery. So this is the way I do my Sundays, and this is the way I'm trying to stay healthy at my age, so I can get to 83. So I got 20 more years, and got to beat those diseases that are in my back pocket. Have a good day, exercise, eat properly, get some sleep, and fall in love again. Thank you.